Hi, my name is Edmund Wist. I am the founder of Cybersecurity Cyborg and creator of ARIAconnector.com, ARIA. And today I want to go over probably one of what I believe is one of the biggest topics for ARIA, and one I've delicately avoided communicating about just because it has been moving so fast as far as a feature and a function and a capability. But I did want to get it on paper. However, I will give a caveat that the user experience is rapidly changing to enhance and improve context management. So what you see when you actually get to ARIA may be a little different. My effort would be that it's going to be better than what I'm showing you today. That being said, I want to kind of give a caveat to how ARIA works. ARIA can preload any kind of context into your AI chat sessions or into your AI agent workflows or automation workflows. And how it does this is by injecting this context data into a standard API or MCP call. This is all managed on the back end with ARIA, and it's really tailored to kind of improve as you use it, as well as layer in all of your context. And probably the key element and the reason why ARIA exists today is I was testing and developing with a lot of models, and they were moving so fast, and there were so many models that it got confusing, and I got tired of dumping all of my previous work into the new model. So in essence, ARIA came from necessity in testing and utilizing models, and now is your harness for accessing the capabilities in all major platforms and LLMs. That being said, let's talk about context. Context is loaded into each chat session and can be loaded into workflows as needed. We'll focus probably primarily on chat sessions, which can be configured and tailored, and you can even develop workflows related to the context and run them within the chat session. But let's just talk about context for a chat session. When I'm talking in this chat session, anything loaded into my context, we call loading crystals, is going to be shared with the LLM that we are currently communicating with, either in that turn, or if we switch providers, the background, history, and context will be shared with the new provider. That's really kind of complex, but in essence, we can add anything to the conversation, and be it instructions or additional data, and it will flavor the way the model responds. In this case, I've already used this for a kind of tutorial for how to utilize our search mechanism. So I'm going to walk through this. We did some searches and found some web sources, and we got a list of 5 presidents. We then used our crystallizing method and created context. We created the first 15 presidents as an object that we can use across multiple chat sessions. We'll go over to our presidential research, and you can see that now we have that first few presidents, and then we actually did some additional research, and we've created context for 2 different presidents and some background and history. Now, let's say we want to start a whole new chat session, but we want to continue on with our presidential research. And so we'll say new pres work. And then we'll just start this conversation with, I don't know, let's just do Gemini and start this conversation. Now, we don't have any context loaded from what we have created, but it's important to understand that there is what we call inheritance, and we can configure this, but initially, just to let the platform and system know what it is and how it behaves, and even some instructions on what crystals are and how ARIA can assist you we have an ARIA, we have certain inheritance. And so we have the ARIA identity. And you can read what we tell every LLM and get a better understanding of what we're sharing with that model. Now, generally, this is just housekeeping and it's default. We will give you options to disable it, but this kind of gives you specific enhancements where you can actually start talking to ARIA about what you want ARIA to do. And then a user profile, these are all configurable. Matter of fact, you can configure it in here. This is my ARIA tester, what company, organization, bio, background. You can also add projects and other things. And then even if I'm in a session, like, let me give you an example. Well, let's start with loading our context. So now we're going to load more context into this. And since we're doing more presidential work, we could go in and we can find all our presidential research and we can click on these and load them. But I have created what is called a crystal jar, which is essentially a group. And it's a group of tools, context, and possibly even workflows, if you wanted to add them, that we can use in sessions. And I have a pre-made writing studio one, and then I have a presidential analysis one. And the presidential analysis one, if we load it, you can see we have an about me, which is going to tell you like, hey, who I am, what am I doing, my writing style. So these are defaults that I can take in and out. And then here's that list of presidents that we already did the research on and the two presidents that we have already wrote a report on. So you can see how we can bring all this information from multiple chat interfaces into new conversations, quickly change models, even compare between them. And then the final aspect of that that I kind of keyed into is if I wanted to change things, say I'm interacting with a model and it keeps on putting out stuff, and we hear it a lot with a lot of M dashes, and say, oh no, I want to release this and people don't respond well to M dashes. So I want to make sure for this session, if you're creating artifacts, that there's no M dashes in it. So add session instructions, and then you can say, please avoid using M dashes, or I don't know how you do it. How do you do M dashes? I think it's like one of the reasons why it's a tell is because it's so hard to recreate. So then I add this, and now at least for this session, it will always do that. I can even click on it and I can promote it to a crystal, and then I can reuse that. I can put it in a jar and I can reuse that for another session. So that is at least a rundown of how context is managed within ARIA. Things are moving fast. I'm planning on developing agents that will actually help you prune and bring context in and out of a session. But in the end, we want to give you, as the co-creator, all the tools and capabilities so you understand what's going on the back end and you're able to effectively interact with your LLMs. So I hope that helped. If you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments below. Thanks.